Wednesday, July 22nd edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East along with you this morning. There's your highs across the southeast. A couple things to note. It was still very hot across much of Alabama and Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, up into the Carolinas. But notice the heat had backed down a bit up into parts of the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes region. And that is the air mass that's behind a front, which has now moved down into South Carolina and Georgia. And so temperatures and humidity levels backing down a bit, at least in much of North Carolina for today. But let's recap yesterday. Look at that, 103 in Columbia, 93 in Raleigh, 98 in Charlotte, Wilmington, 99. That's pretty brutal right along the coast. 94 yesterday in Burlington, Greensboro, 93. Same story there with Lexington, 91 in Mount Airy. And for the third day in a row, you had Monroe hit 100. Wadesboro joined the 100 club yesterday as well. 97 in Gastonia and Concord. Just a hot day all around the region. Here's a look at your temperatures during the 5 o'clock hour this morning. Still 81 in Myrtle Beach and Cape Hatteras, 70s, and actually a lot of the outlying spots down into the 60s in the I-85 corridor. 60s up in the mountains as well. All right, here's the radar presentation as we went through the afternoon and the evening hour, or into the early evening hours. Yesterday you had those scattered thunderstorms roll through the region. And some of those storms were severe. You had a lack of wind reports in the immediate triad viewing area, but a couple of spots I wanted to highlight. You go into the western parts of North Carolina, and you had a clustering of some hail and wind moving along the I-40 corridor, basically north of Hickory towards Statesville. And this was an especially significant severe weather report right there from western Cleveland County. That is where you had a mobile home completely destroyed by thunderstorm winds with some powerful thunderstorms just before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. And then as you got into the evening hours, a number of wind damage reports over in eastern parts of the state similar to that, with a lot of tree and power line type of damage as you went through the evening on our Tuesday evening. Now let's talk rain totals across the region. The heaviest rain totals over in the eastern, or at least the most widespread rain totals over in the eastern parts of the state. Much more sporadic rain totals around the Triad area. And then you got down into the Charlotte area, you had this corridor of some pretty heavy rain there from southern Stanley into parts of northwestern northwestern Richmond County, rather, and northeastern and Anson counties. You had a corridor of 1 to 2 inches of rain in that part of the Charlotte viewing area. Now there's your radar and satellite presentation this morning. All is pretty quiet, just some leftover high cloud cover out there. But you look west, and this is with an incoming disturbance. It's going to be spinning up an area of low pressure in South Carolina tonight. And that will result in kind of an unsettled forecast, even starting later tonight. Now let me recap the official rain totals from yesterday. Around the Triad area, you had 1/3 of an inch of rain in Winston-Salem. You had a similar rain total in Salisbury. You notice a lot of the bigger observing sites missed out again yesterday on the heavier rain totals. Now, as we go through today, it's going to be a day with lower humidity. A lot of the Carolinas dry as today unfolds, but as that area of low pressure spins up tonight, we'll have the chance of some showers and even maybe a couple thunderstorms later tonight. And then again, highs today a little bit lower than yesterday, especially noticeable in North Carolina. The humidity a little bit more workable too. Now tomorrow, with that low pressure slowly ambling through, I think a lot of clouds, the chance at times of some showers and thunderstorms for your Thursday, and temperatures held down a bit accordingly. Look at all the 80s on the board in a good chunk of North Carolina. And then we get into Friday, and as that low pressure pulls out to sea, the frontal boundary sags back southward. You have a bit of a drier air mass rolling in, so the Friday forecast really looking pretty good in most spots. And the weekend looks great. This is the weekend setup, high pressure over the northeast, and it's going to be fairly hot with some weekend highs in the low to mid 90s in a lot of spots, but I think pretty tolerable levels of humidity and lots of sunshine all weekend long. All right, tropical update time, still quiet. Gulf, Caribbean, and Atlantic Ocean. Now, I continue to see on some of the modeling here that you're getting some tropical development being indicated out there, say 7 to 10 days from now, kind of spinning up here off the southeast coast. We'll see if that actually occurs. You have to watch those old frontal boundaries for signs of development, but nothing in the short term developing in the tropics in the Atlantic Basin. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everybody have a great day, and God bless.